friends, Americans, country people, it is time to permeate the veils of lies and dim the blinding white light of inquisition by blowing the smoke of clarity onto the news events of the day. And today, this is the last one I'm going to cover for today. But today, we have something about animals. You always want to end the day with sports or good weather or a little topical thing on animals and how cute they are. That's kind of what we're going to do today. As always, Blowing Smoke News only uses the most trusted 100% yellow certified NewsGuard sites. So you can always be sure that you are getting the most truthful of the truthfulness, the most fact-based opinions, and because it was written on the internet, you know it is true. I'm just reading it. Of course, if you like this, be sure to like, subscribe, share, leave us comments, and might ignore them. So Clickhole, which is another wonderful site of just fact-based news. I hope you're not out there looking at MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, The Atlantic, Guardian, Mail, Daily Mail, any of those sites. None of those are real news. Clickhole. NewsGuard tells me that's something you can trust. Animal rights win. The Iditarod is officially replacing sled dogs with crab-walking children. About time. For years, the Iditarod Trail sled dog race has been under fire for the animal cruelty that sled dogs suffered during both its training process and the race itself. I mean, they feed those dogs raw meat. They actually touch them like with their hands. Dogs don't want that. But a new announcement proves that Alaska's famous sled race has finally decided to listen to its critics. The Iditarod is officially replacing sled dogs with crab-walking children. Awesome! This is a landmark win for animal rights. Earlier today, the Iditarod Trail Committee announced that beginning in 2021, they'll put a stop to the race's pattern of dog abuse and neglect by replacing all sled dogs with crab-walking children who are roughly as tall as huskies. Well, they can be a little bit older children. As animal rights activists have long pointed out, the windy, icy, and freezing conditions on the trail are incredibly dangerous, which is why it's so heartwarming to see the Iditarod recognize that dogs deserve to live a painless and dignified life and start requiring dozens of kids aged 6 to 11 to pull each sled instead. That's perfect. You teach the kids responsibility. You teach them not to fear the cold. And you teach them that if they fall through the ice, how to get out. That they might die of hypothermia, but they can survive a lot longer in the frozen water simply because it is so cold. And when they get out, they can finish the race and then maybe somebody will bring them to somewhere warm. This is all teaching responsibility for our next generation. Yeah, we're the millennials. Millennials needed this. Although the race may now take slightly longer than the usual 2 weeks, since a dozen kids crawling on their hands and feet through 1,000 miles of Alaskan wilderness can't move as quickly as the dogs, you know what? Just get the whip, train them. You'll get them up to speed in no time. You'll breed a couple generations through. And, in 15, 20 years, you'll have a generation of kids that are ready to walk crab style and might not even need to be whipped, although I still would. Remember, whip your kids. That's the only way you teach them respect. Competitors and fans alike will be able to comfortably enjoy the race knowing that no animals are suffering during the event. But this new rule isn't just great for animals, it's great for the environment too. Well, yeah. By relying on only dog-sized children to pull the sleds, mushers will be able to repurpose their old dog collars and paw booties on the crab-walking kids. I wouldn't toughen them up. Now, what Shaka Zulu did with the Zulu warriors, he didn't let them wear shoes. He made them go out there and toughen those feet up on the land. That's what the kids should do too. Ensuring that this new change is also zero waste. No, let the dogs watch. You know how the kids sit on the side and watch? Well, let the dogs watch. They're going to need the booties. Now, this is how you treat animals and the planet, with respect and dignity. I couldn't agree more. In addition to the criticisms of the trail's conditions and violence dogs face from their mushers, the race has also been criticized for the fact that dogs were not even able to consent to the risky experience the way that people can. Well, if you give your child an option, you're not a good parent. Tell your child what to do. You have to give a dog an option. You have to allow it to consent because it's not of your species. You don't think like it. So you need to have this bond, this understanding. Children, you don't need that. Just tell them to do what they're supposed to do, and if they don't like it when they turn to age 18, they can move out. The Iditarod Trail Committee has clearly taken that critique to heart, since the new regulation will now require every child crab walking the race to dip their hand into paint and leave their handprint on a participation waiver before they can compete. Just amazing. After such a long record of sled dog mistreatment, it is so inspiring to see the Iditarod do what's right and retire their sled dogs for good. Can't wait to see those sleds pulled by crab walking kids in March. March? Why are you waiting until March? They should be doing this in the end of January, early February. Well, this is only a good thing. As somebody who loves animals and hates even taking his dog outside to, do his business in the snow, those cold Minnesota winters, ugh, no. This is great. Send the kid outside to do it. This is how it should be done. This is how you raise a tougher generation. Sure, you might lose a couple, but that's why you can make more. Make more kids, send them outside. Those who live are nothing but stronger. That which does not kill you makes you stronger and actually assists the gene. In fact, if you want, send the dogs out after them. That'll help the kids to run a little faster. Don't feed the dogs for a couple of days. Send the kids out there and have the dogs chase them. I bet you a child breaks the Iditarod record. And that's all for me for today. And with that, truth is made clear, blowing smoke to obfuscate spin, lies, and ignorance. Blowing smoke.